a moment, a season in my life. I put you in my plans. I did what I thought was right. I worked so hard just to watch it die. Sometimes you have to leave some things behind.
Hi.
Hey, it's Blastzonne Mike, and welcome to Blastzonne Mike's Fire Rock TV show. And today I have CJ Benoit.
All right, everybody.
He's got that Louisiana thing there going on, Benoit. So, how's things going, man?
Well, things are going great. Having a good Mardi Gras, getting ready to go do a show tonight, and just having a ball. How are you?
Good, good. Are you down in Louisiana?
No, we're back up in Tennessee right now. We're getting ready to do another run in Texas, and then across the Gulf over to St. Augustine. Been hitting that road as hard as we can.
Oh, wow. That's cool. Well, hey, introduce yourself to everybody. I said your name's CJ Benoit, but they really don't know what you do. So go ahead and tell everybody.
Well, my name is CJ Benoit, like you said, and I'm the frontman and multi-instrumentalist for a group called Los Swamp Monsters, a Cajun, Tex-Mex, blues, rock and roll outfit here in Nashville, Tennessee.
And how long has the group been around?
We've been around since 2012, 2013.
Wow.
I'm originally out of Maryland, and then I moved down here in 2017.
Originally from Maryland. Wow.
Yes. I'm originally from a little town called Sykesville, which is about 20 some odd miles northwest of Baltimore.
Oh, wow. That's cool.
So, yeah, if you're familiar with that show, The Wire, nothing like that at all. You're more likely to run into a cow than a gang.
What made you move to Nashville?
Well, my girlfriend, now my wife, was living here, and I decided, well, if I'm going to have a serious crack at this music thing, then I better get my butt down here.
And it's panned out pretty good for you?
I'd say so. I mean, we've been playing all over the place. We recorded a record at Fame Studios in Muscle Shoals, and this band is about as tight as it's been. So things have been doing really well down here.
How long have you had the members you have?
They've all joined at various points. Bruce and David both joined in 2020. Wes or Rooster joined in 2022, I want to say. Nick joined up and we went down for Muscle Shoals. So my bad. Rooster joined in 2021. Nick joined in 2023 when Nick Jackson, when we recorded at Muscle Shoals. And we've had piano players, saxophone players, rubboard players, all sorts of folks come through.
Who's the big, tall, slinky looking guy?
Oh, that'd be Bruce, our bass player.
He looks like a rock star.
Oh, he is. He's been at it for a long time. He's played in, he's worked with bands like the Royal Court of China. He produced some of their stuff. He was in a band called Mary Kay and the Cosmetics that toured with Jason and the Scorchers and that lot back in the day. He used to own a PA service that ran sound for Bob Dylan, a NASCAR race, all sorts of stuff.
Wow.
So he's got a reputation as long as my arm, that boy.
So the band has been different over the years.
It sure has. Out of the original lineup that I had back in 2012, 2013, I'm the only original member left.
Is that because people just go and leave and whatever?
Well, we had folks come and go. Marshall, the guy that formed the band, one of the guys that formed the band with me, he's still pretty active in Maryland and Pennsylvania. AJ, the original lead guitar player, has got his own band now. I forget what the original bass player Lori Beth is up to, and Mike's doing his thing. I still keep tabs on a lot of the original members, so it's very rarely out of malice when somebody moves on from the band. It's just, I'm glad that they came through, and, I still try to keep tabs on as many as I possibly can.
And if you go to your Bandcamp, you've released quite a few albums.
Yes, sir. I released about, let me get that actual number for you. I know it's in the double digits, like at least 16, I believe. That seems like a pretty accurate number. And we are at, drum roll please. Yeah, 16 on the dot.
And everybody go to Bandcamp this Friday, because all the bands, well, at this point, it would be the next what the hell am I trying to say? Get it together.
Every first Friday of the month is
that's
all
it.
the proceeds go to the bands.
Hold on a second. Please cut this out. Okay, when you edit, okay? The first Friday of every month, people go to Bandcamp, and the bands get 100% of the profit. So make sure you go the first Friday of every month. By the time this comes out, the first Friday will be over with. So in April, go to the first Friday and make sure that you go and buy people's stuff at Bandcamp to get 100% of the profit. So go buy 16 of their albums. I think they've got a deal where you can get them all for how much?
Let me look. Let's see here.
$85 or something like that.
Yep, about $90. You can buy our entire digital discography. We also have some stuff available on streaming on Spotify, iTunes, etc. And if you come to a show, we've got a vinyl split with Marshall Falcon, and we've got Live in Texas and from San Antonio to Muscle Shoals all on CD. Well, 2 of those are on CD, and the vinyl split is on a vinyl record.
Nice. What color is it? Black?
The vinyl itself is black, yes. Matter of fact, give me 1 second. I'm gonna grab you one so that way you can see it.
That'd be great.
Yeah, you can tell that we're doing this sucker live. Let's see here. There we go. Show you. Here we are. Had to run and grab it. So here's our side of it. I actually took the picture of it at the, well, it's not really showing up, is it? But,
no, you're coming through. There you are.
Yep, here it is. I took the picture of this at the Casey Jones Railroad Museum in Jackson, Tennessee.
Nice.
And then here's the other side with Marshall Falcon on it.
When did you all put that out?
We did that last year for the vinyl split, but for San Antonio and Muscle Shoals, we released that last year. We recorded it 2 years ago in Muscle Shoals. Matter of fact, 2 years ago this week, we did that whole session. My neighbor Chris Heath was the one who produced it. We also had it mastered over at Raintree Studios up in Ohio with our friend Jose Madrigal. It was a hell of a time, that's for sure.
That's amazing. Are you all going back in the studio soon to do another album?
I'd like to, but we're gonna see. We're gonna see how things come along. Make sure we got the funds for it. I'd like to go through and do a record at each of the studios that have made a lot of history in rock and roll, rhythm and blues and country. I'd like to do one at Sun Studio or over at the Zebra Ranch in Hernando, Mississippi, Jim Dickinson's old studio. Maybe Dial Back Sound in Water Valley. If I mentioned Sun Records already, I probably should do that. Sun Records or Muscle Shoals Sound, the other studio in Muscle Shoals, Alabama.
Yeah, there's a lot of famous studios out there.
Oh, yeah. Or even Jimmy Buffett's studio down in Key West. That'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, there's a lot of famous studios out there. people don't realize how much music comes out a year. I mean, there's just so much music comes out. You know,
Oh,
I feel like the digital industry has ruined the music industry, honestly, because it's you know, I had this conversation with a friend the other day, and we were talking about how they have CDs, you know, and they feel like that people just buy CDs to have something to have a band sign these days, and not, you know, uh, something they play. It's practical to have it for somebody to be able to sign, just kind of like vinyl is. If you go to a show and there's vinyl there, you know, most people don't have record players. It. I remember when I'm 53. I remember when I was younger, man. When Use Your Illusion 1 and 2 came out, people would sit outside for 2 days to get that on CD. You know, and we don't have that anymore. We don't have where something big like that as a celebration. You know, I mean, it
and I
wasn't just
like
like
having a
those
real.
usually. I take Guns N' Roses Use Illusion 1 and 2 because at midnight they sold it, you know, and people were outside for 2 days waiting for it. And it's like it's just not like that anymore. I don't think that we have those big exciting moments anymore where you know, I mean Taylor Swift sells a shit ton of music and you know all the big people do, but you know, I grew up in the '80s where you know, all the hair bands were coming out, and we were buying CDs by the way they looked, or cassette tapes, or you know, vinyl or whatever. We just don't have that anymore. I
Yeah,
think that the
I wish we
digital,
could get back to that because I like having a real copy in my hand. I
yeah,
like having a real copy. My dad and my sister are very big into high tech, very big into streaming and all that. But to be honest with you, I like having an actual copy of something in my hand. It shows to me that I actually have it. It's like having real money.
it's
Or
like you know, I'm notorious. I do listen to Sirius Radio a lot when I'm in the
no,
car with my wife because I do learn about new artists, you know. I mean, if it wasn't for Cirrus, I wouldn't have known who the Funeral Portrait is, which is my favorite band right now, you know. Or I wouldn't have listened to Ice Nine Kills, which I went and seen them live, and I didn't particularly like them. But then, you know, I listened to them on Sirius, and I had seen Spencer as a singer at a convention talking to his fans, and I instantly liked them. I mean, it was like, you know, if you don't have something tangible that you see or something like that, it's hard to get on board, you know? It's and I go to a lot of shows. I see a lot of people every year. And you know, my big show for this year is to see Marilyn Manson. I want to see
oh,
Manson live this year. I've
he puts good. He puts on a good show.
I've seen a lot of the shows, you know, he's done since he's come back and how clean, sober, and how good he looks. And, you know, it's the Manson from when I grew up and I saw him on the first tour, you know. He's not as out there as he was then, you know, with the makeup and shit, but he really is doing great, you know. And I read a I read a thing the other day. This is kind of off topic, but I read a thing the other day. I'm friends with a guy named Bobby Leveland. I don't know if you know who he is or not, but he's a singer of Pentagram. They did a documentary about him in 2011 where he
Great
was
New Orleans
living with,
metal band.
huh?
Great New Orleans metal band. If it's the one I'm thinking of,
No,
Pentagram.
they're from Maryland, actually.
Oh, even better. Yeah, that's from my old neck of the woods. Yeah, great
Yeah.
band. From what I understand.
They come out in 1972, 73. Bobby's been on crack all his life. He was on heroin. They did a documentary about him. And, you know, in 2011, of course, this is 2025. The man's redeemed himself. He's got a brand new band with Tony Reed from the Moss Generator and St. Vitus. is his drummer. I mean, the guy's like on top of the world. He's 70 some years old. But I noticed that people were tearing him down. Like, you know, who is this crackhead? Who is this person? And I know him personally. I'm friends with him. You know, I talk to him on a monthly basis, not weekly, but we're friends. And we text back and forth, you know. So I had to go in there and say, do you people even know who the heck you're talking about? Why is it that people have to go on and talk shit about people so much? It's like the internet. I'm so tired of the internet. I really am. There was a day when I was like, man, I couldn't live without the internet. But I couldn't do these things like I'm doing with you if it weren't for the internet.
The
So
internet is the whole thing.
my question to you is, what do you think about the internet today as opposed to, say, 5 years ago?
Well, the internet is it's a tool it's a tool like everything in this world. It can be used for good things, it can be used for not so good things. If it wasn't for the internet, I wouldn't have found out about a lot of the great music that I like. I've been really digging Tejano, Cajun and Zydeco music, Louisiana swamp pop, all sorts of great things. But it can also lead to some not very good roads out there. And, I'm not going to get into the socio-political aspect of it. That's not really my place. But
Yeah.
I know that just like everything else in this world, there's a lot of great things that come out of the internet, and there's a lot of not so great things that come out of the internet. And it's up to the people who utilize that tool to determine whether or not something's good and something's not so good.
Yeah, well, let's get back to what we were talking about. So, I got to interview a great legend who passed away last year, and Joel Sonnier.
Yeah, he was great.
If you want to see that interview, you can see it on my website, blastzonne.com. But I did an in-depth interview with Joel Sonnier, like, I don't know. I think it was during the pandemic, I can't remember. But Joel had passed away. Only a few people pass away doing what they want to do in life. And Joel did. He did a show, went backstage, and that was the end. He, put on a great show, and I feel for his wife. I see his wife all the time on Facebook talk about him. What a great human being and a great individual for the type of music that you like, Zydeco.
I love his playing. I didn't get a chance to read his book about it, but he and I also have another connection. We were both on the autism spectrum. He was, and I am. And when it was one of those things that when I had read about it, it's like it kind of gave a little bit of that special thing. It's like, holy crap, it's a really wonderful. And to go back to him passing away, we were both in Texas when it happened. Joel and my band were, and we were coming back from a show in Houston when we got the news that he had passed. And it was just one of those things like, man, because I think he was playing in Austin, if I remember right.
Another great artist was the Texas Tornadoes.
Oh, they're one of my favorites.
Doug Slaham and Freddie Fender.
Absolutely, they're one of my favorites. We actually covered Wasted Days and Wasted Nights and Is Anybody Going to San Antonio on the Fame Studios record. And I actually got to talk to Sean not too long ago. Very nice guy. Spitting image of his dad, Doug.
Oh, you're talking about Shandon.
Sean. Although Shandon is great too. I love his Psalm cover Psalm record, but Sean took over for his dad in the Tornadoes after for a while, and Sean is just
I didn't realize he had a brother. I knew Shandon because Shandon was in one of the bands I loved growing up called Pariah.
Yep.
That was in Austin, Texas. And
Puppets as well, right?
What's that?
And the Meat Puppets as well, yeah.
Yeah, he was in the Meat Puppets, and so was the brother. There was two brothers in that band. The one brother killed himself, and then the other brother continued doing music, and he was in the Meat Puppets as well as Shandon for a while. Now, Shandon, I mean, I love Pariah. Pariah was amazing, man. Such a great band. They're a perfect example of a band that got signed, put out an album called To Mock a Killingbird, was their first album on Geffen, got shelved with the next album, and then the bass player or guitar player, I can't remember, the brother, Kyle, I think was his name, killed himself. And it's a shame. They actually made the Austin music thing there where people with mental illness, they raise money in his name every year because of what happened. And then the other guy went on to be in Jason McMaster's band, Broken Teeth, out of Austin. He was in that band for a while too. But yeah, back to Shandon, man. Um, his dad was great. I mean, Doug was great, man. And I didn't know he
Absolutely.
had a son named Sean. I really didn't know he had a brother or a son named Sean.
Yeah, Sean Som, he took over for the Tornadoes for a while, and he was actually the one that did the lead vocal, did a lot of stuff on the record they did with Ray Benson's studio, Bismo, called Esta Bueno, where
Oh,
it had where Sean did a lot of the vocals and guitar work. I believe Michael Guerra, who used to play in the Mavericks, was on that record. And of course,
wow.
Flaco Jimenez, Augie Myers, Max Baca, who plays with the Tex Maniacs, was in that band. And the Tornadoes, they're one of my favorite groups. Like,
I'm gonna have to go check that out, man. I'm speaking of the Mavericks. I'm fixing to see the Mavericks and Dwight Yoakam next month.
oh, that's going to be a great show. I keep missing the Mavericks when they're in Nashville. I really hope I get to see them one day. They're another one of they're another favorite of ours when we're bouncing music back and forth. The Mavericks comes up a lot. The
Yeah,
Tornado.
they're playing court day, not court days. Hillbilly days. They're playing with Dwight Yoakam, and this will be
Oh,
Dwight's first time back in probably in this area in probably I guess probably 15 years.
yeah.
See where I live. Where I live in Kentucky. I live right beside the highway where Dwight Yoakam was born, where Billy Cyrus was born, the Judds. I mean, you name it. You know, country music. You go the other way. I'm close to where Keith Whitley grew up. You know, there's a statue in the graveyard and everything. I mean, so I live right in the middle of like where all these famous country people came from, and bluegrass. You know,
Oh, yeah.
a lot of bluegrass people come from here. I'm not particularly a bluegrass fan. You know, I
I
like
cut my
gangster
teeth on it
grass.
when I was younger.
What's that?
I cut my teeth on bluegrass when I was younger. Matter of fact, every New Year's Day, my grandfather, God rest his soul, and my dad would take me to a New Year's Day jam that Danny Kimball, a great mandolin player, used to run, and I learned so much from the bluegrass guys that
Uh,
that kind of
but you, but you said that you know how to play 22 instruments,
45 actually
45
45
instruments.
instruments. When the autism kicked in, that was the thing that I kind of locked into was musical instruments. And sometimes, I'll pick them up, and it's varying degrees, so I don't bring all of them at once. I'd need a I'd need a truck for that.
Yeah.
But I play, but usually at an LSM show, I play accordions, I play saxophones. Sometimes I'll play guitar if my guitar player needs to use the bathroom or something. piano.
What's your favorite instrument?
Oh gosh, that's like picking your favorite kid. I like them all, but people really dig it when I pull the accordion out. I used to be in that camp of play the accordion, go to jail, but you know you need it in Zydeco, you need it in Tejano music and
Oh yeah.
all that. So when I play the accordion, people dig it, and ever since a video of us playing Volver Volver, old ranchera by Vicente Fernandez, went viral. Like I can't go I can't go a show without pulling out Volver Volver, and people dig it.
I was at, let me think, where was I at? I was at a show. I can't remember what show I was at, but I was talking to a lady. There's a place called the Paramount Theater here in Ashland, Kentucky. It's about an hour from me, but whatever. And we were talking. I can't remember where we were at. I was at a show anyway, and she was at the Weird Al show because Weird Al played a show there. And I missed it. I wasn't able to go, but it would have been cool to see Weird Al on a small stage because it's a small stage. And she was bitching about him. She was like, "Oh, it wasn't the show we thought it was going to be, and all this, and all he wanted to do was play accordion. He didn't do any of his big songs, and I was thinking to myself, man, to see Weird Al in that kind of a setting play accordion would have been pretty amazing. Because Weird Al doesn't, he usually does all the parody stuff, and people don't realize that he started as an accordion player,
and he was a great accordion player, still is. Like I remember
polka music, right? That's what it was.
Polka, but the sheer diversity of his band, looking past the parodies, his whole band is the amount of genres that they tackle, even with just looking at it as just the parody guy. Those guys are all incredible musicians. Like I could probably really only draw a comparison of Weird Al to Spike Jones. He was kind of the Weird Al of his day, where he would take popular songs of the time and kind of turn them on its head and parody them. Mm-hmm. But just like with Weird Al's band, Spike Jones and the City Slickers, all of those musicians were incredibly gifted. Incredibly gifted. You just couldn't tell because the songs that a lot of the songs that they did were oftentimes very silly. And with Weird Al, it's the same way. I heard him play Classical Gas on something online, and Weird Al Yankovic is one hell of an accordion player. But you have to be that good to tackle all of those genres, all of those different styles of music. I mean, and it just shows how good of a musician they are. You just got to look past the gimmick.
Well, let's wrap this up for today, and tell everybody how they can reach out to you if they want to buy stuff from you or they want to book your band or whatever.
Best way to do it is to hop on to www.losswampmonsters.com. You can also find us on Facebook at Los Swamp Monsters, Instagram, Los Swamp Monsters Official. I'm the webmaster for a lot of those, so odds are you'll probably talk to me directly. And the CDs are $10. The record is $25. And, just even there, just drop a line. I love talking to folks, and I'll be happy to strike up a conversation with you.
All righty, man. It's been great talking to you today.
Great talking to you too, man. I'm glad we got to do this. Let's do it again sometime.
Anytime, man. You let me know.
All right, 10-4, brother. I better get ready to go do this show down in Columbia, because we're playing there today. It's Mardi Gras when we're recording this. So I better get ready to go do that, but I'll catch you up the road, all right?
Sounds great, man. Thank you.
I'm a Sunday morning sinner in a white church, on my knees praying till it hurts, in the back row with all the other lost souls. I'm a double shot of whiskey in a dive bar, a cowboy looking for a wild card I can take home. For the sun I'm long gone.